Let's make a ring, except we are yet again ditching our original setup because we're going to be making another sea glass ring. So this is the stone we're going to be working with, and this ring is actually available on my website. In case you didn't know, I launched a whole new collection yesterday full of sea glass rings in both silver and gold, so definitely be sure to check those out. But let's talk about this ring making process a little bit. Right now I'm working on making a custom bezel that will fit this exact stone, and I'm pretty much filing the edges, that way the ends will go together perfectly. And this is super important because we are going to solder this, and if the ends aren't put together perfectly, the solder isn't going to flow properly. So right now I'm adding on what is called flux, and this not only helps the solder flow, but it also protects the piece from fire scale. This is the super tiny piece of solder that we need, and I'm going to go ahead and fire it until the solder flows. After this, I grab the bezel wire with my tweezers and quench it, which this just completely cools off the piece. That way I could touch it without getting burned and keep on working. So I'm just going to go ahead and double check that my stone fits, because making rings like this is a very long process, and it would absolutely suck to go through hours and hours of work just to find out that the stone didn't fit this whole time. Thankfully it did, and now we're going to continue to make our bezel cup, which I'm going to grab the bezel wire that we just soldered and trace around it on this back plate, and then I'm going to cut out that piece of metal and also add my maker's mark along with the 925 stamp to the back of it. It's a little hard to see on camera, but here's what it looks like. And eventually we're going to solder the bezel wire to this back plate. So in order to do that, I have to sand down one side of the bezel wire. That way I can make sure it sits flat on the back plate and the solder will flow perfectly. So same thing as earlier, I'm going to add on the flux along with multiple pieces of solder. I know in the previous clips I only used one, but since this is bigger, we're going to use 3 to 4. And then I just fire it until the solder flows and also quench it. Once the piece is completely cooled off, I trim off the excess parts of the back plate while also making sure to save the scraps, because in case you didn't know, I could later on fire those and make embellishments out of them. Anyways, after this, I go in with the Dremel tool, and I'm just filing down the back plate until it blends in with the bezel wire. This is what it looks like once it's fully blended in. As you can see, it looks a lot cleaner. And now we're finally going to make the ring band, which I did make this ring in a size 8, and I also decided to go with a thicker ring band just because this is a bigger stone. But also, I wanted to mention that all the rings from this collection are super exclusive and one of a kind. So if you see this piece and you like it and it's in your size, definitely be sure to get it before it's gone, because there is only one available. But anyways, right now I'm just soldering the ring band. As you can see, the solder flowed perfectly, and then I'm going to quench it and make sure to shape it into a perfect circle. And as for one of the final steps, we are going to solder everything together that we've made so far. And then there are quite a few more steps that I ended up not recording, just because, like I said earlier, it's a very long process. But here's what the ring looks like so far, and here's what it looks like once the stone is fully set and the ring is polished.